should've told me I wasn't small enough. I can't believe he slept with her behind my back. He proposed to me. He forgot about tomorrow as we lay. Told me lies when someone else was on your mind. All you did was lie to me.
I was raped as a kid. I was also molested. I would never stand behind someone who is doing the same thing. I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
It's my baby's birthday, and I wanted to celebrate him so much.
Now, hurry up.
Okay, so make your wish. You making your wish? You don't have to tell us what it is. I didn't say happy birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Happy.
I have a lot of rehabbing to do. I suffered a lot of internal damage. And so I have a lot of rehabbing to do before I am able to be what I like to call concert ready again.
She's a gospel singer.
I just live.
She's a hit R&B legend.
But I gotta be strong, 'cause it will break.
But she also happens to be the very person who's making headlines every now and then.
My soul belongs to God because I haven't sold it to anybody. It's not mine to sell. These people out here selling their souls, they're selling things that don't belong to them. I'm not even about calling out names. People can assume what they want to assume. Wasn't but for an artist on the show that I was a judge on. I was on a show with Kirk Franklin, Erica Campbell, Jonathan McReynolds, and there was me. My husband was with me at work every day, and I'm gonna leave that right there. I know a lot. I said a lot of things today. I'm not backing off from any of them. I'm one of the very few artists who have been able to record and tour with both gospel and R&B artists. And the lives that are lived by the people that you worship are despicable and disgusting. My heart was broken when I saw the things that happened on the road with a lot of these artists, doing shows with these artists, all kinds of stuff. My heart was broken because there was still a part of me that believed that holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. That's biblical also. It took for me to tour and to work and to do shows with these artists that call themselves gospel artists and preachers who tried to get in my bed. That's another story. You won't get it for free. Refuse to give that for free.
And it's not even for the right reasons. Kelly Price has been caught up in some rumors. And let me tell you, they were wild, wild. After all, not everyone goes viral for rumors of faking their own death, or, let's just say, being a Diddy cheerleader. It is truly as wild as it sounds. So let's catch up on all that she's been up to, the good, the bad, and the gossip, shall we? This little legend was born on April 4th, 1973 in Queens, New York. And let me tell you, her family was super spiritual. Like, her grandpa was actually a bishop and a pastor. This was a win-win for her and exactly what introduced her to music.
Yeah, they didn't. So musical director's a fancy name. I tell people that's a very, very fancy title. They were not called music directors when my mother was directing the choir at her dad's church. She started directing the choir at 11 years old. She played and she sang and she was directing choirs in his church at 11 years old. Yeah, I was 3 actually. Well, they knew I could sing before I was 3, but I probably sang in front of the church for the first time at 3 years old. I tell people music is my first language. So my grandmother and my aunts, they all said that when I was in the crib, they could hear me at like 9 months old humming before I could even talk. So music really is my first language. It really is a gift from God. I feel like, there are people that actually can teach you how to hold a note. Right. But it's something, music is ingrained in me. Like, seriously, I was at home cleaning out the garage the other day. Music is playing in the garage, and I realized I had given my entire neighborhood a concert by the end of the day because I'm in there and Anita Baker's playing and I'm just feeling it. But I feel it in my soul when I sing, whether I'm on a stage, whether I'm in the shower, I literally feel it in my soul. I feel like music saved my life. It was my therapy, and I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't have it.
She was barely 2 years old when she started performing in the choir, and it didn't take long before her teachers were calling her Little Mahalia. By the time she hit 7, this girl already had her first song written. And by 10, she had her first track recorded, and it was getting some serious attention. And trust me, she wasn't your average success story. Nope. When she was just 18, she was already touring with Mariah Carey. Like, how iconic is that?
And I don't know how they did it. All I know is I got a call one day at my grandmother's house, and it was Tommy Mottola on the other end. Craziest thing ever. And he was like, yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you about this. You know, MTV has this amazing new concept that they're doing, and it's called Unplugged, and it's all acoustic, and Mariah's going to be doing it, and she wants you to come and she wants you to sing with her. You think you can handle that? And I'm like, how did you get this number? Weirdest thing ever.
The music
and
industry.
I'm like, yeah, but my sister has to come with me. I didn't know what. I'm 18. I'm like, yeah, my sister's got to come with me though. He's like, fine, bring your sister. It's fine. So we get there. He's like, it was at Kaufman Astoria, I think is where they used to, the Kaufman Astoria Studios is where they used to do it. It's so funny. I was just talking about it the other day. I was sitting getting my nails done. Can't Let Go by Mariah came on. I loved it when first of all, she destroyed it every time she sang it. But what I remember, my first memory of singing that with her was that day we had already finished. When we filmed MTV Unplugged, the audience was like, no, do one more, please, do one more. Mm-hmm. We hadn't rehearsed it. If you go back and watch that Unplugged and take a look at it, you'll see she's like, well, you think we should do it? When you want? We had not rehearsed it. Like we did it on the spot. I had never performed it with her before. None of us had ever performed it together. It was on the spot, but I knew the song obviously because I loved it. But right on the spot, no rehearsal. It was like please do one more. And she was like, you want to do Can't Let Go? And I'm like, she asking us? And yeah, and that probably it was a magical moment.
But then came the real big break. January 1992 rolls around, and she's performing as a background vocalist for none other than George Michael at Madison Square Garden. A few months later, she's at the Grammys, catching the eye of Tommy Mottola, CEO of Sony Music. By 1996, she was off on her solo career and touring with Puff Daddy. Yes, that guy and the Isley Brothers.
But I met him because I wrote for him.
Ron Isley.
Yes. And so he started courting me to sign. And maybe about 9 months to a year after him saying, I want to sign you as my artist, I went ahead and I did it. And he had landed at Island. So he took me to Island where Hiram Hicks was. And so it was the little engine that could. There was a small team. I think there might have been 30 staff members in all. But they bust their behinds. So when you think about artists like me, when you think about artists like Drew Hill, the entire team was 30 people. That's marketing, that's PR, that's A&R, that was the entire team. But they worked really hard.
Then, after signing with T-Neck Records, she dropped Soul of a Woman in 1998.
Gotta touch her soul to find.
And let's be real, that album was a hit, thanks to the song Friend of Mine.
I went out on a limb.
But here's the real question. Was Kelly's life all glitz and glamour? Or was the tea about to spill and things were about to get messy? Look, I know it's not cool to joke about someone's illness, but when fans first heard the news of Kelly mysteriously disappearing back in September 2021, the rumor mill went into overdrive. Some of the wildest and most absurd speculations started flying, with fans even saying the legendary R&B singer had been kidnapped. But guess what? The reality was even crazier. Turns out, Kelly was caught up in a lawsuit because she didn't attend an event. And things got so ugly that people started threatening her with a smear campaign. Yeah, that's exactly how all this madness started.
When I got sick with COVID, I missed several shows. I had a promoter come after me after that. Yeah. I was in the hospital dying the day I was supposed to be on stage. I offered a makeup date. He didn't want it.
After several days of panic, her attorney finally broke the silence, and you'd think that would have been the end of it, right? Wrong.
Dying the day I was supposed to be on stage, actually. My heart did stop. I was medically dead. They were able to resuscitate me.
Apparently, the situation was even more intense. Kelly was unconscious for days.
At some point, they lost me. I woke up a couple of days later, and the first thing I remember is the team of doctors standing around me and asking me if I knew what year it was. Yeah, I died.
But did the public care? You wish. They went nuts, slamming her for faking death for attention and sympathy. They said it was a publicity stunt and whatnot. And you think that's the craziest part? Nope. Kelly actually revealed that on top of all of this, her sister had tried to steal her money while she was dying. I mean, talk about adding fuel to the fire.
unfortunately, and I just have to say that it is what it is, I almost got Britney Speared this summer. There was a conservatorship in play by a specific family member, and some of the family did fall out about it. I have a great aunt who actually had something to say to my sister about that and said to her, "Why would you do that?" So my aunt literally, and so when I talked to her and she's like, I asked her, "Why would you do that?" And her response was, "If she dies, he gets it all."
Those were the exact words of her sister. And what makes this all even more crazy is the fact that all of this mess was in fact started by her own sister. The things you have to go through when you're rich and famous, especially for someone like Kelly. Let's rewind to 1998. Price and R. Kelly collaborate to dish out a chart-topping banger of a remix of Friend of Mine.
She was my best friend.
And I'll be honest, the remix was pure gold as it completely took over the R&B world. But little did she know, this collab was about to turn into a nightmare, as her association with the controversial producer was about to land her right in the crossfire. In case you don't know, let me quickly fill you in. R. Kelly, a celebrated and respected artist, was pinned down by a ton of horrific sexual abuse allegations. But what's Price got to do with any of that? Well, when Surviving R. Kelly first aired, there were plenty of shots of the R&B kingpin working alongside Price.
Now, obviously, I heard rumors. I heard about different things.
Did you?
So I kept,
at that time?
I mean, I think we all heard rumors. Well, the rumors were that he liked underage girls. He never had any underage girls around me. But I knew his wife. I knew the kids. I had spent time in the house with his wife and kids, all the way down to the last baby. When Drea had the last baby, and she wasn't feeling well and she was tired, I went to Chicago, went to the house, played with the kids, cooked for the kids. She was in the bed. So that really was who I was to that family. I was not exposed to a lot of the other shenanigans, and I think that there was a part of him that understood that if I did see any of that I wouldn't be like somebody else and turn my head the other way.
And that's when fans raised the question, was she in on it? Or worse, was she an accomplice? As she said it, her connection with R. Kelly goes way back to when she was rising to fame. He'd been listening to some of Puff Daddy's tracks and asked about her, and that's how they ended up meeting. And that's why everyone was like, she knew what was going on. She was in on it. Heck, she had even spent time inside his house. Now, of course, there were whispers, rumors about R. Kelly and underage girls. But Kelly says she never saw anything like that.
But this is the thing. If you know that there have been whisperings about that, or if you know, I just feel like nobody can there's not any person that can do something so elaborate and so well orchestrated for so
Without
many
a
years
team.
and not have a team that's assisting in it. And I'm going to take it a step further and say that, well, hell, I ain't signed to a major label. The people at Jive knew what the hell was going on, and they helped it.
So yeah, they had a brother-sister relationship. And while she wasn't exposed to the worst of it, she says there's a bigger issue with the culture and the industry itself. So because she didn't see anything or anyone for that matter, she continued working with him. Kind of odd how she kept on working with him despite what everyone around her was saying. But yeah, this was a huge blow to her image. And I guess that's why she has to continue defending the allegations to this day. That, though, is not the worst of it. A Diddy cheerleader? Fast forward to 2024, and Kelly is still smack in the controversy. And before I tell you what she said this time, I'm sure you're all aware of the Diddy drama. He's facing over 100 cases for trafficking, abuse, and racketeering. The last thing anyone wants in Hollywood right now is any association with the fallen celebrity. But not Kelly Price, though. You just know she has to go against the tide, even if it means landing herself in sizzling hot waters. So what did she do this time around? A deleted tweet pretty much defending Diddy after a video surfaced of him abusing his ex-girlfriend. And honestly, some of the things she said just makes me wonder, did she actually know what's going on? She certainly knew what R. Kelly was up to, right? And while her deleted tweet is, in one way or the other, a way to disassociate with Diddy, I don't think there's any coming back from this. It was almost a prayer as she advised him to stay strong, despite facing all the different seductions of the industry. What? What seductions? He was caught on camera abusing his ex-girlfriend, and Price is busy talking about seductions? Seems to me she knew something we didn't. This really isn't helping her. I mean, first R. Kelly and now Diddy? Get a grip on yourself, Kelly. Plus, her clarification was even more absurd as she said it was nothing but a warning to let Diddy know what he's doing is wrong.
I have not spoken about any of this stuff since it's come out. I don't stand with anything that is criminal. None of us can unsee what we saw. For those of you who got what I was trying to say, and I was compelled to say it, I don't need the clout. So for those of you who are saying that, you're the one who's inside my life, so I guess you need it. It was really more of a warning. Like, when it's all said and done, we're body, soul, and spirit, right?
Anyway, this entire fiasco earned her a nickname perhaps no one wants in Hollywood right now, a Diddy cheerleader. But yeah, apart from her songs, I think literally everything she's done has hurt her image. R&B divas, being rude to Brandy, turning a funeral into a concert, and singing a song about cheating at the Black Gospel Expo. Almost everything she's done has landed her in some serious trouble. If you're an R&B fan, I'm sure you're familiar with the storm Kelly unleashed when she first hit the scene.
I didn't sign it up.
It was all about her. In fact, it wouldn't be wrong to say R&B was Kelly Price. But was she always like this?
What the heck, why not? We're gonna pat you on a track that we don't care about.
I mean, we can't ignore how she treated Brandy while working on her first album, now can we? She had just finished working with Mariah, with a lot of fans questioning whether this was her inflated ego at work.
You were a backup singer for Mariah Carey.
Yes.
But I never knew how that ended. Did it end respectfully?
It ended with me telling her that I wanted to leave to pursue a career in writing, possibly being an artist. She wasn't ready for me to go. I went and met, long story, so I won't go into it, but I met Puff Daddy. And the day after I met him, I was in the studio writing for Horace Brown.
I'm guessing she wasn't sensing the same energy or passion in Brandy, which led to her lashing out at the young star.
Okay, I didn't know that. I do know that Dawn isn't going to make it today. She also had an emergency.
Yeah.
But Michelle A isn't here, and I'd like for everybody to be here. That's kind of been the problem. We haven't really been able to get together, all six of us at one time, to have the conversation. And I've been trying to avoid having the conversation over and over and over again. But I'm going to have the conversation with them.
Fans also saw a real glimpse of her personality as she caused havoc on R&B Divas Atlanta.
Remembering 3 years ago that I was molested at 3 years old by my cousin when my mother left me to go in the hospital to have my baby sister. Can I trust you to bring that out of me?
Yes, you can.
Well,
Bring
how
it,
do I know that?
Because it's coming out
I
right
don't
now.
know you.
But it's coming out right now.
I don't know you.
But it's coming
But
out
I don't know you. How can I trust you with the earliest tragic memory of my life? I need to be able to trust you to say, go there, Kelly!
With some of the most explosive confrontations ever. She also shocked the entire gospel world after singing a song about cheating while the audience was waiting for the word of God.
You caught hell for performing a song about cheating at a church event.
Yeah, so let's just go. I'm gonna need, first of all, for Black people to start doing things on real time and not CP time. It was them trying to revitalize and bring back, because Indiana Black Expo was huge when I first got started. They were trying to bring it back. No, it's not a gospel anything. It's just it's a weekend thing where they do everything. And back when I first started doing the expo in the late 90s, they had different stages.
I don't know, but she's a gold mine for controversy. Or maybe she just does it on purpose. Anyway, what's she up to now? Rolling in the M's. You heard that right. Say what you want about her, but Kelly is living her best life. She's rolling in the millions as she's managed to stack up an impressive $2.5 million net worth. And despite the ups and downs, she couldn't care less, still making music and performing as she ventures into acting and producing.
Captured effortlessly, that's the way it was.
Oh, and even though she's had one of the most scandalous careers in Hollywood, a lot of fans believe the only reason she's faced so much heat is because she didn't sell her soul. I don't know what that means, but there's one thing I can say about her. It's that she's never been afraid to speak her heart out.